It's time for your next adventure.
I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Is policing in 10, 15 years just way less manpower and way more technology?
Ooh.
So the issue, I wouldn't say that's where it's going. The issue is, again, is with the political climate, with everything going on nowadays, less people want to be cops. Less people want to. You're finding less good candidates that want to be cops because they don't want to deal with it anymore. You know, they don't want to deal with some of the nonsense that we go through and deal with.
What's the big nonsense you deal with?
Political and just the way things get spun up in the media and that perception. I tell people all the time, I used to be a resource officer, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's teachers that aren't good teachers that shouldn't be teaching. There's doctors that are out there doing medical stuff and malpractice stuff that shouldn't be doctors. The issue is they're not always in that limelight. A thing happens, they're in the media, and that kind of gets pushed aside. For some reason, we're always in that limelight, and one bad cop's going to make everyone a bad cop, and we got to deal with that all the time. In reality, most people out here are in the same thing. We all have the same goal. We want to go home at the end of the night. We all have the same kind of mindset, and we want to do our job and be successful at keeping this community safe.
A quiet shift is happening across the country, and it goes far beyond standard turnover. People are walking away from the badge mid-career. These aren't natural retirements. These are active duty officers, professionals with a decade of experience deciding they simply cannot do the job anymore. The mandatory overtime is crushing. City leadership is often absent or deeply politicized. And the mental toll on a family is becoming too high a price to pay. When the very people tasked with holding communities together decide the system is too broken to sustain, we have to ask what is really driving them out. Americans are starting to realize that surviving a career shouldn't mean sacrificing your mind and your family.
So I quit. I quit law enforcement. And I wanted to make this video not because I wanted a sad story or y'all to feel bad about me or feel bad for me, but I wanted to make this video because I knew people were going to ask why whenever they haven't seen me in uniform lately and all that good stuff. But basically, my agency and we left on good terms, but I knew that I wanted more in my life, and the job that I had did not meet that expectation.
10 years as a police officer, and I called it quits. So I resigned, and people are like, how could you? You must be sick. You must be so upset and so sad. No, I'm not. I feel 32 years old with a child. It's a tough leap of faith to leave a career that you invested 10 years in. But when you have a passion inside your heart that's driving you crazy because you're not fulfilling those things that make you happy, and it makes you second guess what you're doing. So I took the leap of faith, I turned the badge and I turned the gun in, and I resigned for my mental health and for my future and to thrive with something that I love to do. So this is for all you people out there wondering what you're doing in this job that you hate just to pay bills. Don't do it. Live your life to the fullest and go get it. Go do what you love, and don't let no one tell you different. But to all my brothers and sisters in blue, I love you, and you will always be in my heart.
So this is week one of leaving my police job, moving to a different city, and starting HVAC school. It was a pretty fast transition, so I don't really think I knew what I was getting myself into going to HVAC school. I'm using tools I've never even heard of. I got the tool list, and I was like, what the heck is that? I was on Google a bunch. It appears that it is definitely a good skill set to have. I've already met a ton of people out here where I moved to who are like, oh, I know somebody who's hiring, like everyone's hiring, so that's cool. It wasn't necessarily what I was like planning on doing with my life, but I had to do something, and so I just jumped at it, and now I'm learning how to do HVAC, and so I'm gonna do that in school, and then now that I'm out here in this new place, I have a little bit of a window to try like a side hustle I've been wanting to try, so we'll see how things going. But shout out to everybody back home and all the support and love that I've been getting. Thank y'all. God bless.
Well, today's the day. Deputy Marshal 842. After 10 years, I'm out. This is a video of me before going in and turning in my car and all of my stuff and things and cell phones and all of the crap that I've accumulated over 10 years. Talk to you here in a bit. I had to make a pit stop to clean out my car. Took a lot longer than than I thought. Turns out it's hard to get coffee stains and cheese sticks out of seats and all the stuff in the cup holder. Just kidding. When Christ was walking along the shore, he saw two fishermen. He said, lay down your nets and I'll show you how to be fishers of men. That was their livelihood, fishing. That's what they do. That's what they knew.
and they put it down to follow God. Leaving law enforcement, following God.
People always want to know why I quit being a cop. And the honest answer, a few things stacked up at the same time. The laws kept changing, the job kept getting harder and honestly more dangerous than it ever had been. I had young kids at home and a family that needed me present. And I was tired. I was tired of night shifts, tired of missing birthdays and bedtime, tired of coming home feeling like a zombie when my family needed me there. And I was tired of someone else owning my schedule. I didn't get into real estate on purpose. A close friend was getting his license, and I figured, why not? Supplemental income and a backup plan just in case. Turns out that backup plan was the plan. Looking back, I can see God was lining things up, not with some big sign or in some big way, just a friend, a license, a door that opened when I needed it, and a leap of faith. I still get to help people, just in one of the biggest moments of their life instead of one of the worst. And for the first time in a long time, I owned my time. I'm there for school stuff, the dinners, the little things that turn out to be the big things. Funny how that works.
On Friday, 16 New Orleans police officers turned in their badge and walked off the job. This followed the terror attack which took place on January 1st, claiming the lives of 14 and injuring over 35. I spoke to a New Orleans police officer who says that many officers within the New Orleans Police Department are fed up with the lack of leadership within the city. And this resulted in those 16 officers quitting on Friday. Now, several people are saying that the governor of Louisiana should come into New Orleans and take over the city, declaring it a failed city. And in speaking to these officers, I learned that many of them are regularly working overtime. And on the night that the terror attack took place, some officers worked over 20 hours. Now, standard operating procedure for the city of New Orleans is that over 16 and a half hours, those officers aren't getting paid. It's considered volunteer. So if you're an officer who chooses to work, chooses to serve your city past that 16 and a half hour mark, you're not getting paid.
It's been 1 year since I quit the police department, and this is what I have learned. Not everybody that says they're your friend really is your friend. The people that say that they're your ride or die, the moment that you don't work with them anymore, you won't see them anymore. They won't reply to your message anymore. They won't show up to your events anymore. And that's okay. Some of them will. It doesn't mean that they weren't your friends then. It just means you're in a different season of your life, just like they are. Accept it. Having a normal schedule does give you a normal life. I didn't have weekends for 10 years. This year, for the first time ever, I got to do a comedy show on stage in front of strangers, and it was awesome. I fell in love with a woman that is the love of my life, and it was awesome to be able to date her on the weekends. And I got to spend weekends with my kids. Being a cop is hard, and I respect those that do it so much more now. It takes a toll on you. In fact, being a cop might have taken more of a toll on me than being a Marine. You missed birthday parties, you missed weekends. You don't have a regular life. And I respect the hell out of the people that still do it. You can't find out what you're capable of until you leave the thing that is the most important to you. I was scared, but I went all in on myself, my business, and since then, I've been able to speak on 3 different stages this last year. I hosted my first event with my clients that came out to fly here to come to our event that we did. And I flew out to California to be the guest speaker at the Marine Corps birthday event that they did in Huntington Beach. I also did a Memorial Day speech in Chicago, which was awesome. And I got to talk about things that really mattered to me as a veteran. Nobody knows you. I walk into rooms and I realize there is nobody there that knows I was a cop for 10 years. And that means that if I tell them, that's the only way they'll know. Walk into every room knowing that you can make your first impression everywhere you go. You can be whoever you want to be in every room that you are in. Rebuild who you are, find out who you want to be, and then follow that. You don't have to do the same thing over and over again. I left my career of 10 years to do this full time, and I would never go back. Not because I didn't love it, but because I love this more.
So, just like that, I quit. One thing about your mind is yours to take care of and yours to change however you see fit for your lifestyle. Daily life, things change. The older you get, things change. responsibilities may change. You know, you may have more responsibilities, less responsibilities, and it change what you desire to do in your life. Never feel that you're stuck. You know what I mean? You're never stuck anywhere. You know, that's a mindset within itself. Once I got into law enforcement, you know, I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed learning through patrol. After I got comfortable in patrol, you never learn it all. After I got comfortable in patrol, I was like, I think I want to be in narcotics, you know, and I started putting forth the energy, trying to learn as much as I could to be in narcotics. But before that took place, or before I even applied to transfer over to that point, I had a child, you know, and once I had a child, that whole ideal of wanting to be in narcotics, wanting to be undercover changed. I did task force and stuff like that, precinct level task force and, you know, all that. And it was fun, you know, going on. And as time went on, I wanted to become a trainer, FTO, field training officer. At some point along the way, they started using it interchangeably at this agency, calling it FTO and corporal. I did it for 4 years and enjoyed it. You know, you're not going to enjoy every single day of it. You're not going to enjoy every single person you train. But overall, I enjoyed the process. But I look at being a trainer as a sprint, a constant sprint. You always constantly looking at the screen, on the tough book, trying to see what calls are coming through that you can get your trainee into to get them exposed to as much as you can in an 8-week time frame. But the thing about that sprint, you're sprinting a whole mile. After a good long run, what is it necessary to do? To start cooling down. You don't come to a complete stop, a sudden stop. You start cooling down. I have 3 years and some months left of retirement. For the past few months, I've been trying to get, you know, make sure I'm mentally okay, physically okay, working out, eating better, and so on. And part of that is not to stay in that conscious state of anxiousness, but, you know, anxiously looking for the next call to get this person into. You know, I'm on my wind down stage. You know, being a trainer, it's fun. But I don't really believe in holding a position hostage forever. You know, I believe an agency movement should be fluid. You know, nobody should be stuck in place anywhere. And I feel like it's my time to move on from training and, you know, pass the ball to the next generation of trainers or the people who never done it before or whatever, or want to get back in it and give them a chance to do it. I don't believe in hogging a spot.
So not many people know this, but I actually became a police officer at the ripe old age of 20 years old. And I did it for 3 years before I left. And it's often that type of job where, like, people are always like, oh, I always wanted to give that a go, or, you know, I always wish I did that, and for some reason or another they didn't. So I thought I'd share what it was like for me and the story of how I joined and why I left, etc. In the hopes that maybe it might help anyone else, younger or older, who is considering getting into that type of job. Basically, I was 20 years old. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I got pulled over one day by a female police officer. And I was like looking at her and she like was all kitted out, so cool. And I was like, you know what? That could be really cool. And it felt like a bit of me. Like I was like, that is a bit of me. Like I would reckon I would thrive in this sort of job. I loved it. Like it was so fun. I should say there were certain parts I loved. Other parts, what they don't warn you about is the paperwork. I mean, they do warn you, but they don't. They really don't. There is so much paperwork in the job. You'll go to a job and you might apprehend someone and then you are in the station like for the next 5 hours. So say you start your 8-hour shift, you get someone early in it, you got to take them back to the station, you got to do all the paperwork. Like that can be hours later, depending on the job that it is. And then you're not back out for the rest of the day. So it's not like you go out, get someone, bring them back, and then you're out again catching someone else. Like it is, hours inside doing the paperwork to then either bail them or remand them, whatever it is that you're doing. I haven't looked back. Do I think I would still be in the job if I didn't lose my dad so suddenly to cancer? at 21 years old, yeah, I think I would be. I think things would have panned out a lot differently. There was definitely parts of it that I enjoyed a lot, but in the end, you change after going through such a traumatic loss like that. And I was like, well, my mental health and my family means more to me than this job, and I wasn't the same person after that. So obviously there's so many perks. Main things like that I'd just be mindful of: paperwork, losing connection to other friends or social circles that aren't Vic Pol, because like I said, you're working majority weekends. It's shift work. The shift work is hard. Like, the hours are hard. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else there is that you would want to know. You miss out on a lot. I felt like I did lose a bit of my life there for a little bit, but obviously like I said, I was going through a lot as well. It's very hierarchy. Like, you call your senior sergeant boss. Like, it's very, like, I don't know. I didn't love that about it. Like, you can't just go, hey, Peter. Like, it's, hey, senior sergeant, or hey, boss. Didn't love that. Like, I know it's like hierarchy, respect, all that, but it just really grinded my gears. Like, I know you're the senior sergeant. Like, it just felt like a power play. And one thing I will say is people judge how you do your job. Like, people judge hard. You'd get into the station and they're like, did you hear about the job last night? Like, this person did this. Like, it's like, it can be very toxic. Like I said, people are very, like, judgy on how, jobs are run and all this. And if you do a shit job, you're going to be heard about. So I know that's probably everywhere, but that was another thing. You have empathy, you have patience, and you have drive, then do it. I'd say do it. Like, go for it. But the main thing for me was my mental health, and I had to prioritize that. I was going through not only my dad passing, but some other mentally challenging things that I haven't touched on, so I'm not going to touch on in this video, but yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions or anyone wants more information on it, let me know. Hoping this reaches the right audience. But yeah, it feels like a lifetime ago. It doesn't even, like, it feels like another life that I did that job. But, it was such a good experience. And if it doesn't work out for you, at least you can say you did it. Like, that's what I'm always, like, so happy I did it for, is, so many people like, oh, I wish I did that. But, I did it. I experienced it. It was great. Like, but I wouldn't go back. I won't go back. I won't ever go back. My boss at the time, he's like, you're welcome back whenever. And I'm like, thanks, boss, but no thanks.
Today is the day I am no longer a police officer. So I handed in my notice. You may have seen my TikTok where I said I handed in my notice after 3.5 years of service. Today is the day I am no longer in the police and no longer a police officer. So I could not be happier about that decision that I have made for myself. Sadly, I thought it was the job for me and it was a career for me. I've always wanted to go into the police. I did my undergrad in criminology, I did my master's in criminology, and I wanted to go into the police to help genuine victims of crime and get the justice for them that they deserved. However, the police, it's not the place to be at the moment. So if you are considering joining the police, I would highly suggest that you do your research before joining the job. Even if you do join the job and it doesn't work out for you, at least you can say that you've given it a go, you've given it a try. It doesn't work out for everyone, and there's nothing wrong with that. For me, I listed in my previous TikTok a number of reasons as to why I'd quit. Just to summarize some of those reasons, poor working environments, not enough officers, you're overworked, you're off hours late all the time. It's a thankless career. You don't get the recognition that you deserve for the hours and the work that you put in. And eventually that does take its toll. That took its toll on me. It mentally destroyed me. It's not a job that I would ever go back into. It's not a job that I would ever, recommend to anyone. I remember the amount of days I was sitting in my car before going into work and I just did not want to go into work. I felt sick, I was dreading it, and that is not how a workplace should be for you. So I am so much happier now that I've handed in my notice and I'm out of the job. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. So whether you're in the police and you're considering leaving, or whether you're considering joining the police, just know that there are options, and if you are stuck and you're wanting to get out, trust me, I have never felt so happy in my life than leaving the police and handing in my notice. And again, if you're looking to join the job, again, just do your research and make sure that it is the job for you. Again, even if you do join up and it's not the job for you, at least you can say that you've given it a go, you've given it a try. But all I say is, just please do your research before getting into it, because it does have a lasting effect on you. This job did take its toll on me, and I had to put myself first and my health first. And unfortunately, my dream career didn't work out, but I know I will be doing bigger and better things than being in the police. And I'm okay with that. I am so okay with my career, my dream career, not working out for me. So if you're in a similar position, please know that it does get better leaving the police.
What we are watching is a massive reassessment of what work is supposed to cost us. For decades, the American working class bought into the idea that secure government jobs, like policing, teaching, or nursing, were the ultimate prize. You traded grueling hours for a pension and steady pay. But that social contract is entirely fractured. City councils and municipal governments are leaning on skeleton crews, forcing unpaid overtime, and letting political theater replace actual civic leadership. The result is total burnout. These officers aren't just quitting a department, they are escaping a broken municipal machine that treats them like disposable liability shields. When everyday people begin prioritizing their mental health and their children over an impossible pension timeline, it is a glaring warning sign. The institutions responsible for our basic safety are losing their foundation and ignoring what will cost all of us. Are you seeing this happen in your own city? Whether it is law enforcement, healthcare, or education, I want to know if you are watching experienced professionals walk away from essential jobs. Share your observations in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.